Silent retreat. I don't usually take cases like this. The email had come from a private client, no return address, no name, just a single request: psychological evaluation required for group retreat in remote mountains. All expenses covered. 1 week. Confidentiality essential. It smelled of money, and more importantly, mystery. I hadn't been sleeping well. My regular clients blurred into one another: broken marriages, anxious teens, overworked executives repeating the same loops of self-sabotage. I thought a change of environment might help. The coordinates led to a place that didn't exist on any map. A driver picked me up from the nearest station, an old man with no interest in conversation. He drove through twisting, pine-shrouded roads until we reached the base of a narrow stone path. "You walk from here," he said flatly, pointing to the trail vanishing into mist. I nodded and stepped out. The air felt colder than it should have, weighted with silence. I climbed for what felt like an hour before the lodge emerged through the fog, an old European-style chalet nestled against the cliffs, ivy-covered and strangely regal. The door creaked open before I could knock. A woman greeted me. Late 30s, porcelain skin, too poised to be a patient. "Welcome, Dr. Hale," she said. "We've been expecting you." That unsettled me. "I wasn't told anyone would know my name," I said. She smiled. "Of course not. Please, come in." The interior of the retreat was beautiful in a haunting way: dark wood panels, antique furniture, and oil paintings that seemed to watch you. My room was small, cozy, immaculately clean. No cell signal, no Wi-Fi. Isolation perfected. There were 6 residents. Each introduced themselves with practiced politeness: Martin, Eliza, Nina, Harold, Tomas, and Claire. Different ages, different backgrounds. Yet something about them felt eerily synchronized. Their eyes followed each other's cues like actors in a tightly rehearsed play. Over dinner, I asked gentle questions. "So how long have you all been here?" "Time moves differently up here," Eliza replied, sipping her tea. Claire laughed. "Long enough to meet him." A chill pricked my spine. "Him?" They all exchanged amused glances. "Elijah," Martin said solemnly. "The founder of the retreat. You'll meet him soon." I was told nothing about a founder. I leaned in. "Where is he?" "He prefers the tower." "He doesn't like noise," Harold said, as if reciting a script. There was no tower. At least not from what I'd seen. That night, I couldn't sleep. The silence was too loud, pressing against my ears like static. I wandered the halls. From the shadows, I heard footsteps that didn't match mine. Someone whispered in a language I couldn't recognize. In the morning, I began my sessions. I met each resident privately in the drawing room. I tried standard techniques: open-ended questions, free association. But none of them responded normally. Martin believed he was recovering from guilt over the fire. When I asked for details, he stared through me. Nina insisted Elijah cured her of suicidal thoughts, yet she described his methods in vague, dreamlike metaphors. "He sings to the blood," she said once, before laughing like it was a joke only she understood. Claire wept during our entire session, repeating the words, "He's not ready yet. He's not ready." Every conversation bent in one direction: Elijah. The founder who didn't exist. I searched the building. There was no staff aside from the woman who greeted me. She called herself Ivy, though I couldn't tell if it was a real name or an affectation. No signs of any office. No schedule. No medication records. But I did find a locked door behind the library. Late that night, I picked the lock. Years of amateur locksmithing finally came in handy. The staircase led upward, winding in a tight circle, into a tower I never saw from outside. The top room was filled with drawings. Hundreds of them, maybe more. Charcoal, ink, watercolor. All of the same man, tall, pale, gaunt face, deep-set eyes. Under each drawing was a different name, Elijah. Sometimes the listener. Once, disturbingly, just, God. In the center of the room was a single empty chair. It faced the wall, as if awaiting someone. I sat in it. For a moment, I thought I could hear breathing behind me. The next morning, everyone was quieter. At breakfast, they kept glancing at me. Tomas avoided eye contact entirely. Claire didn't show up. I confronted Ivy. Where's Claire? She's with Elijah. I want to see him. You've already seen enough. I stared at her. He's not real, is he? She tilted her head. What does real mean to you, Dr. Hale? I turned away. She didn't try to stop me. By the 5th day, I realized something had shifted. I'd stopped asking if Elijah was real. I started wondering if I was the one being evaluated. The residents began acting out scenes together. In the main hall, I caught them repeating a strange ritual, chanting Elijah's name, then kneeling in silence for exactly 6 minutes. I timed it. That night, I found Martin in the kitchen, whispering to a blank wall. I called his name. He turned slowly, confused. Do you hear it? He asked. What? He's getting stronger. I backed away. I tried to leave. The trail was gone. Where there once was a path down the mountain, there was now only mist, thick and endless. I shouted. Nothing echoed back. When I returned, they were waiting for me. Ivy said softly, "No one leaves until Elijah decides." I laughed, perhaps too forcefully. There is no Elijah. She looked at me with a sadness I didn't understand. Then why are you here, Dr. Hale? I didn't have an answer. Day 6. I stopped journaling. I stopped writing session notes. The tower kept calling to me. At night, I'd climb the stairs and sit in the chair. The drawing seemed to shift when I blinked. Some looked like me now. The lines of the face matched too closely. Once, I heard someone whisper behind me, "He's almost ready." On the 7th day, the fog cleared. I stood outside at dawn. The sun broke through the pines. I could see the distant valley, civilization. I turned to tell them. The lodge was gone. Only a stone foundation remained, blanketed in moss. A bird sang. I stood alone on the mountain, my suitcase in hand, wondering if I had ever arrived at all.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for listening.